every $1 that is invested in nutrition or food security initiatives, it's a $16 return on that investment. And that shifts the conversation from being a corporate social responsibility conversation to actually being one that catches the attention of a CEO or a CFO or into the boardroom.
Today we are exploring the raw operational realities of leading through instability. In 2026, surviving a sector-wide contraction means moving past traditional safety nets to build entirely new revenue frameworks.
For a lot of women that I've spoken to, there's always that, I'm not sure I can do it. I think I need more experience. And what I will say is just believe in yourself and do it.
Hello and welcome to the She and Success podcast, a national platform spotlighting powerful women who are shaping the future of business, leadership, and impact across Canada. This is Kripa Anand, and today we bring you real stories, bold journeys, and conversations that inspire growth, visibility, and success. Today we are exploring the raw operational realities of leading through instability. In 2026, whether you run a commercial enterprise or a massive humanitarian agency, surviving a sector-wide contraction means moving past traditional safety nets to build entirely new revenue frameworks. Joining us today is Onome Ako, the Chief Executive Officer of Action Against Hunger Canada. Leading the Canadian arm of a global giant operating in close to 60 countries, Onome has directed initiatives across more than 20 countries throughout her career. Holding degrees from the London School of Economics and the Rotman School of Business, she is a top 100 award winner, a former RBC Canadian Women Entrepreneur Laureate, and a current 2025 Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation mentor. She is here today to talk about driving revenue diversification and leading with resilience when external forces rewrite your rules. So, before further ado, let's welcome this very special guest. Onome, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Kripa. It's very great to be here as well.
The introduction that I said, I am impressed by everything that you've been doing, and you are not just an inspiration, a role model to me, but majority of our listeners as well. So thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you so much.
Onome, the international development sector is currently facing one of its most severe funding contractions in a generation, right? Forcing a complete overhaul of traditional operations. Let's start the conversation by understanding how can organizations successfully diversify revenue during major funding cuts?
Well, that's a very, very big question, Kripa. And I think it's an issue that a lot of organizations are dealing with at this point. So if you not fast forward, kind of go back to beginning of 2024,
Right.
when the Trump administration came into power
Yeah.
and the cutting of USAID.
Yeah.
So a lot of organizations were struck with a new reality that majority of their funding was lost.
Right.
And the organizations that were able to survive or thrive were those that did not have significant amounts of funding from just one source,
Right.
one revenue source.
Right.
So I think it's a very, very important thing for leaders within an organization to, one, begin to talk about diversification much earlier on, right, in the organization's existence.
Yeah.
Be clear about what is the percentage of revenue from, say, for example, governments, foundations, major donors, individuals. Very, very clear about that, because that diversification is what will enable an organization actually withstand
Right.
the shocks like we had when there was a huge shock to the system.
Right.
And there are quite a few organizations that actually did not survive the cuts. So as an organization, at our organization, we're really, really focused with the board to ensure that we're identifying ways to diversify our income stream and be clear about what percentage is coming from one specific income stream.
Thank you for answering that. I think approaching structural business pivots from a position of, immediate strategic urgency
Yeah.
rather than waiting for abundance, is what keeps an organization alive during market shifts or, moments of crisis. Um, Onome, let's now talk about reframing value creation in boardroom. So, how do you position food security as a strategic business investment? Instead of looking at it as a charity. So, how do you differentiate?
So I think one is really important to understand that investments, let's talk money now, right? For $1, for every $1 that is invested in nutrition or food security initiatives, it's a $16 return on that investment, right? And I think that shifts the conversation, right, from food security or nutrition initiatives from being a CSR, a corporate social responsibility conversation, to actually being one that catches the attention of a CEO or a CFO or translates that conversation into the boardroom, right? So I do think that it's the business case of ensuring that we're seeing nutrition initiatives of food security as an investment case rather than charity.
Right.
Because when you're talking about nutrition, you're talking about a productive workforce, right? Nutritious foods ensures that you have a productive workforce. It ensures that the childhood health or child health, it ensures that there's limited absenteeism in the workplace. So once investors or corporates are able to see food security or nutrition in this light, then it begins to shift that conversation as an investment conversation rather than a purely philanthropic or CSR conversation. And we both know that if there's a slash in budgets, the CSR department normally is one of those to be on the chopping board. So I think it's really important to begin to shift that conversation more as an investment rather than philanthropy or just donation.
I think more and more people need to understand and realize the difference that you mentioned and what we're talking about here, because there's a very thin line between these two, but it makes a whole lot of a difference in how you're approaching something, right? It's more than anything else, it's a mindset issue. It's a mindset thing. As you said, Onome, moving the corporate conversation from a sentimental cause to a measurable global consequence, it makes investment in food systems an essential risk mitigation tool for international trade as well. Great. Let's now look at leading teams through industry disruption and uncertainty. Everyone has a different definition of what a team is, what leadership looks like, right? From your perspective and from your extensive experience, what leadership lessons have helped you guide teams through crisis and uncertainty personally?
So I want to reframe the team as the people, right? The people, and they're the backbone of any organization.
Right.
And I think that this moment that we're in right now is one of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Just turn on the news and, you're flooded with a whole bunch of uncertainty. And I think for me, one of the things that I hold dear to is transparency with people, right? With the teams. Is ensuring that I'm clear about what I know, but I'm also very, very clear about what I do not know.
Yes.
Right? And so that transparency positions you in a relationship of trust with your team, right? And it's a conversation that has to start even before crisis hits. So when you're in constant communication and engagement with the team, then when a crisis hits, right, they know that they're getting the same version of the leader when there was no crisis.
Yes.
Right. So
same trust, reliability is coming.
Exactly. So that for me is extremely important, is trust, openness with the team, and being clear in terms of your communication. I think very quickly, the other thing I will say is that difficult decisions get made during this period as well. And it's also being clear as to why those decisions are being made and making them from a place of values, right? Organizational values, personal values,
Right.
rather than just rash
Yeah.
decisions.
Or just going on with, whatever the company trends or the culture trends are. It should be very personal and very meaningful and should come from a place of true value creation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautifully put. I think balancing transparent scenario planning with, an unwavering focus on the core organizational mission, it gives your workforce the security that they need to perform under pressure as well. And crisis is actually the moment when you get to know what you're actually doing wrong when there is no crisis, right? So it's a great eye opener as well. To the corporate executives and SME leaders watching, in 2026, household stability is the foundation of market stability. Onome Ako and Action Against Hunger Canada are actively expanding their partnership portfolios right now, looking for Canadian business partners whose strategic interests intersect with global food systems and agricultural technology and supply chain resilience. They are proving that an elite global organization can re engineer its funding model in real time while maintaining their life saving work across 60 countries. If you are ready to move your brand beyond generic charity initiatives and invest in true global infrastructure, visit actionagainsthunger.ca. Turn your corporate contribution into a global legacy today. It's time for a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. There's still more to unpack about leadership, resilience, and navigating uncertainty in a changing world. We'll be right back and stay tuned.
At Purolator, we understand the importance of every delivery, whether it's a document, a special gift, a critical healthcare shipment, or an entire warehouse worth of inventory. Throughout our more than 60-year history, we've honed our expertise to build out a powerful portfolio of logistics services that enable us to deliver on every promise. Whether shipping across town or around the globe, from small and medium-sized businesses to industrial, technology, retail, and healthcare sectors, Purolator serves a diverse array of customers. So no matter what, where, or when you're shipping, Purolator's expertise, experience, and innovative solutions enable us to deliver on your promises.
Welcome back to the She and Success podcast. Let's continue the conversation with Onome Ako as we explore how strategic planning and adaptability are shaping the future of global leadership. Let's explore navigating geopolitical shifts through strategic planning. So, Onome, how exactly do you prepare for sudden geopolitical and policy changes in global operations? Because these things are going to happen. There's no, running away from this fact. What we can do is plan and organize. So how do you see this?
Well, you said it yourself. It's the scenario planning, right? It's knowing that you're working in environments that are unstable. Sometimes they're stable. Geopolitical shifts are happening.
Right.
So I think one is really, really having a strategic plan, right? That's
Core.
the core for any organization. And then number two is the scenario planning. What's your current scenario?
Right.
What's your best case scenario? And what's your worst case scenario?
What would happen if this could go wrong, right?
Exactly.
What would we do then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then what are the assumptions that is driving those scenarios? What are the assumptions that are underpinning any one of those scenarios? And ensuring that there's a communication process within the organization with your senior leadership team, right? Maybe on a monthly basis to test those assumptions with your board, because you need the trust with the board on a quarterly basis, right? To ensure, are we on the right
Still
path?
going,
Right? Are we steady? And the constant testing, I think, is very crucial during this period of uncertainty.
As you mentioned, building extreme operational flexibility directly into your long-term roadmap, it prevents global regulatory shocks from, completely paralyzing your day-to-day delivery and still make sure that you're standing steady. Finally, let's look at Canada's evolving role in global leadership. So, Onome, how does your global perspective, shape your view of Canada's role in the world economy? To answer that, I'd love to do a little time travel with you. Imagine if I were to give you a time machine right now and we were to go 5 or 10 years into the future. When you get out of the time machine, how exactly do you imagine this entire conversation or scenario changing or transforming from a global lens?
So I think the first thing I will I will say is Canada's reputation in the world, right? Like you mentioned, I've led initiatives in about 20 plus countries. And what continues to be constant, and I hope when we go, time travel, is who Canada is at the core.
Yes.
Right? And Canada is seen as a credible, reliable partner.
Yes.
And that, I believe, is actually a really strong opportunity for businesses, right, to leverage in terms of the reputation of Canada in the world stage, right?
Right.
Two, very quickly, is, again, time travel. You're looking at domestic issues that we're facing and international.
Yeah.
And more that line is merging into one. And so it's thinking through what is the expertise that Canada has domestically that will actually be relevant on the international stage. And that, again, I believe is a huge opportunity for not just the not-for-profit, but also for businesses.
Your answer is very balanced, and it puts a lot of things into perspective, because embracing a more direct data-driven conversation about international interdependencies, it allows Canadian partners to step up as true global leaders. And I think to dive deeper into this, we'll have to do a separate podcast entirely. But, I'm loving this conversation today, and definitely I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for a deeper discussion. But for now, before we let you go, I'd quickly like to, discuss a couple of things. One, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am extremely inspired by you, and so are all of our listeners. Onome, in Canada, when we talk about women in business, they are contributing equally to the economy, if not more, right? But still, when it comes to getting a seat at the table or getting that recognition, women are still way behind. Right now, I think that is still changing, and I'm proud to say that, because women have stopped asking for a seat at the table. They're creating their own tables at this moment, right? So I'm extremely proud and in support of, all of them who are doing that, including you. But for women who are still unsure about where to start or where to take that first leap of faith from, if you were given the chance to whisper one thing into everyone's ears, what would you tell to those women, and why?
Believe in yourself is what I will say to any woman, young, old, any woman I
Believe in
speak to.
yourself.
Believe in yourself. And the reason I will say that to them is we know what the data is. For example, if a woman is applying for a job, she's waiting to get the skills.
Yeah.
If a man is applying for the job, they might not have all the skills, but they're still going for it, right? And for a lot of women that I've spoken to, there's always that, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure I'm the right person. I'm not sure. I think I need more experience. And what I will say is just believe in yourself and do it.
That is a golden reminder that everyone needed to hear again to get reassured. If I were to ask you your mantra of success in life, Onome, what is that one thing that you keep telling yourself that, helps you jump up the bed and go get ready and take the day as it comes?
Future. I'll tell you, as a, I think one of the most important roles that I have is a mom. I'm a mom to an 11-year-old.
Wow.
And everything that I do, underpinning it, is really thinking about the future that she's going to step into. And for me, that mantra is future driven.
That is a very beautiful answer again, because if you're thinking about future, you can't make a wrong decision because you're so conscious and mindful about everything that you're doing always. All right, that was Onome for you guys. It was such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the work that you do as well. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Onome Ako from Action Against Hunger Canada, a masterclass in rapid revenue diversification leading through sector retrenchment and why food security is a fundamental economic investment for Canadian businesses in 2026. Thank you so much for listening to the She and Success podcast. To learn more about how we are supporting women entrepreneurs beyond the platform, visit the She and Success Foundation at sheandsuccessfoundation.ca. A special thank you to our exclusive shipping partner, Purolator, for the ongoing commitment to supporting women entrepreneurs and helping them build, grow, and lead successful businesses across Canada. Visit sheandsuccess.ca to explore more stories, insights, and powerful voices. And join us again as we continue to celebrate women who lead, build, and inspire. See you in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.